All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the beautiful beaches of Zandvoort in the Netherlands, and we are here for the Division 3 ISRL Grand Prix, and I think it's round 12. So season coming to a close shortly. We've got about a month of racing to go, and you're going to notice some a bit of rain in the air, and there is a wet start to this qualifying. It should dry up by the end of it, though. That's not going to stop some of these drivers from going out setting lap times. Maybe some banker laps in case the rain doesn't dry up as much as they thought, or some people crash out. That way you still got a lap time on board. Not a bad idea. Who's on an out lap that's starting? I think that's a red car over there. It must be Craig or Maverick. Oh, and it's Maverick, and I was talking about setting some banker laps in case some people crash. Maverick, coming out of the last corner, has a bit of a moment, and watch out, Maverick. Oh, my goodness. It's a very dangerous place to be caught. That's a McLaren as well, either Dooms or a Bakker. That's Bakker, who's had a moment as well. So some of these guys with a bit of a rough start to qualifying with this wet track. It's very green. There's no rubber laid in on it yet, so the grip isn't quite where they expect it to be, and it seems like it's catching some people off guard. Cozy starting lap. I think there's a Haas who's on a lap already. So take a look at Sprunky here, running P3 on the inters, and nobody's going to have the slick tires on just yet, but still. Expect to see them come out just a little bit later in the session. Alright, if there's anybody, I see a couple of people have already trickled into the stream. If you guys have any podium predictions, let me hear them, so that maybe we can get an idea of what everybody's up to, and what everybody is thinking. Now, let's take out the standings here. It was a big win last week for F1 Richie, who's actually retired from the session. Oh no, what's happened to F1 Richie? I think Monkeys is coming. I think it looks like he's spun the car there up the hill, and yeah, and he's hit that inside wall, and you can see his car is sliding back on track. So F1 Richie out of the session already on this wet Zandvoort circuit, and all these guys most likely using their dry setups. It's predicted to be a dry race, but F1 Richie out of qualifying already, and I was about to talk about him. He's got 263 points, currently leading the Division 3 championship. Aizen's right behind him though, 215 points, and after that big win last week in Italy for Richie, that points lead extending a little bit. Aizen sets the fastest lap time, but immediately gets passed by Bumblebee, who's had a good streak, has gotten himself up into the top 5 in the standings. He's actually tied for 4th after what was a very rough start to the season. Oh my god, there's a big spider there. There you go. Sorry about that. There's a big spider that crawled out right in front of me, and it had to die. That's a little bit terrifying. Alright, carrying on with our commentary and our qualifying session. The rain was slated to last the first 10-ish minutes, so I think we've probably got about 5 more minutes of this rain to go before it stops falling. So we got some comments in our live stream. Let's see what everybody is saying. Noah, get out of here, Noah. You're a professional commentator. There's a spider, okay? I had to kill the spider. So, yeah, back on track. CJ Butch is on a lap as well. For what it's worth, no, none of these laps matter because it's going to dry up. Actually, I think it has stopped raining. No, it has not. It looked like it had, but it's going to dry up. So all these times are going to start falling. Currently, we've got a 1:18.9 as your best time, but look at that. Aizen's a full second behind Bumblebee. So Bumblebee with a great lap to start the session. Can CJ Butch do anything to get his Williams out there? Bit of a moment as he's entering that second DRS straight. You saw that car wiggle. He had to fight it. Everything was shaking, and he manages to catch it, but he's going to lose a lot of time as a result. In through this chicane and towards the end of his lap. And this is where we've seen a couple of people lose it. Not this corner, but this one here, the bank turn. As the rear end easily to step out if you don't have enough grip and you're putting the power down right to the edge there. CJ Bush goes P6, but is that Cozy right behind him? Who's no, it's not Cozy. Somebody, Bacher, has passed him. Maverick has passed him. Maverick has passed him and then immediately gone off track. That's a surprisingly good lap time for Maverick there. Let's see. It's like One Wing is attacking that corner pretty aggressively, but goes a little bit deep and I think he's on a flyer, so it's interesting to see if it's going to save him some time or not. Now you do notice the rain has stopped, and I think, yeah, One Wing should probably go in the pits here, put on some slicks. Let's take out our fitted tire graph, and you can see already the slick tires coming out. This track dried up very, very quickly in the last minute or so. I thought there was about 5 minutes left. No, and turns out there was about 2 minutes left. It's already dry. We've got the slick tires out on track. Sprunky is going to be one of the first ones to set a lap on those slick tires. We're going to see how good Sprunky can do, and I expect to see at least something in the mid 110s here, as this track isn't fully dried up yet. He might be struggling for grip, but it doesn't look like he's doing too bad, and is right on board with him. Yeah, this track has absolutely gotten bone dry in the last couple minutes, so the sun must have come out, and really quickly all these conditions are changing. And Sprunky fastest sector 2. He's on a decent lap. Doomsray actually sets a 112 with the medium, so expect this lap to be much closer to the 110s than the mid 110s. And I thought this track was going to be a little bit greasier out there. Sprunky down that second DRS straight. There's two very short DRS straights around this circuit, and not much of an overtaking opportunity on this one, but it does let you get a little bit closer so that you can hopefully make a move down the next one. Not important qualifying though. And Sprunky around the final corner. Where is he going to end up? Hugging that wall on the exit down to the line, and he does go P1. It is a 110.6 as expected for Sprunky, so a good lap for the Haas. And now at this point, F1 Richie is already guaranteed to not qualify. He's crashed out, unfortunately for him, which means Sprunky has a good shot at a pole right now. It's provisional pole for now, but it could turn into the actual pole position if nobody else gets a decent lap on the board. Doomsray goes P2 with a 111.7. There's 8 minutes left though, so expect some more times to start coming down the boards. Maybe some 109s by the end of the session. Monkey Mafia in the Renault taking a lot of curb there, coming through, I believe that was turn 9, and yeah, to turn 11 now, hugging that, trying to hug that inside curb there without actually rolling up on it. Gave it a little bit more room than he probably could have gotten away with. And again, yeah, a lot of curb for Monkey Mafia, so I think he's slowing down a little bit too much, taking a lot of curb to not upset and taking a lot of curb as a result to not upset the car. Sprunky's actually going for a second flyer there, and he does beat his time by it brings it down to a 110.0. So that second lap on the softs for Sprunky was even better than his first one. Crago is coming through the final turn here. Where is this lap gonna bring him? No, that's his out lap that he was finishing. Now he's starting his lap. We're going to tune in on board with him later. Bacher as well is on lap, so we're going to follow on board with Bacher to see if the McLaren can challenge here in the top qualifying positions. He's had good qualifying positions so far this season. I do remember him starting in the top 5 recently in the couple races on a bit of a hot streak, Bacher, in qualifying. Less luck in the race, so let's hope he can keep that car in one piece today and bring home at least a podium, because he did have a few of those earlier on this season. On to through turn 11 onto that second DRS straight, and yeah, don't ask me to use the corner names for this track because I don't speak enough Dutch, and I would rather not butcher them. Bacher through this banked turn here down to the start finish line, and not taking as nearly as wide of a line as some of the other guys that we saw. And that's going to bring him up to P4, 110.7, so still quite a ways off Sprunky. And maybe that second lap, what's happened here for Hartman, who actually went P3, surprisingly enough. That's a good lap from Hartman, but having a bit of trouble with the track limits right now. Aizen on a lap. Let's bring up the track, or the lap data. Yeah, I think that's his in lap because he's not moving very fast right now. Doomsray's in the pits, Monkey Mafia's in the pits, Cozy, I believe, is on a flyer, and going through turn 1 right now. So he's got a 120.9 currently. That's very clearly a lap that he set on the inters. And trying to improve. It shouldn't be quite easy so long as he keeps it within track limits. All the way up the hill he goes. Now this downhill sweeping right-hander. Such a fun corner to take. You can lift off, downshift. You don't really have to brake, but with heavier fuel loads, you will have to tap it just a little bit. It's a tough corner to get right. Looks like Cozy navigated that one okay. Getting a lot closer to the curb than we saw previously from some of these other competitors. And Cozy's on a decent lap currently. He's got 2 more corners to go. Right on board with him. It takes a little bit of curve on the inside there. Shouldn't hurt him too much, but it's not going to do him any good. Down the main straight, open the DRS, and Cozy's going to come into P3. That's a 110.2 for Cozy. A good lap time there for the AlphaTauri. Now 4 minutes left. There's not too many people on track. And One Wing was coming around the final corner, but not going to improve his time, so he decides to bail out of that one. Sprunky's on an out lap. And Always Rick is on a lap, but those are very old tires. 4 laps already on those tires. And he's set his lap time on it. So maybe Always Rick isn't going to want to start the race on those. If he doesn't, he's going to have to pit soon. And who's that behind him? Is that... It is Bumblebee, who's trying to start the race on the medium tires. So can Bumblebee do something here? He had the original fast time in this session. Of course, that was on the inters. He hasn't been out of the pits since. And starting his flyer now. So on the medium tires, he's the only one trying the mediums here. I think a lot of people going for the soft hards strategy, most likely. But the medium soft is doable if there's a few safety cars, if you get to really stretch out both of those tires. And I'm talking about safety car on either stint. You really got to stretch out those tires. Obviously, medium hard is easy, but Bumblebee maybe some mind games with the strategy right now. Down this main straight, he's got a fastest sector 2, and it's a very short sector 2, kind of hard to gain a lot of time. You compare the length of sector 1 to the length of sector 2, and you'll get a you'll get some understanding of what I mean. Sprunky improves his lap time ahead of Bumblebee. 109.6. He's the only man in the 109s right now. Bumblebee taking that tight line that we saw. Goes P2. P2 on the mediums for Bumblebee. And only a 10th off Sprunky. What a lap there for the Racing Point. And that's going to not only put him near the front of the grid, it's going to put him there on this ideal tire strategy. He's got the mediums. He can go long if he wants to. He can pit for hards if he has to. So a very, very good lap there for Bumblebee. And yeah, that goes without saying. That's a great effort for the Racing Point driver. Bakker is on a lap as well. Can he improve his time? Down the right-hander up to the Sector 1 timeline. He's 2/10 up. Fastest Sector 1 for Bakker. And if he can just make sure not to lose too much time here in Sector 2, got a bit of a moment. You saw that tank slapper start. He caught it in time, so not going to lose a ton. Getting to the end of Sector 2, he's 6/10 up on his time. Bakker, if he can just keep this pace, he's in for a 109 here. We could get some challenge in the front. Not taking as much curve as he could on the exit there, but not going to affect him too much. I think. Oh no, he's going to invalidate his lap on the final corner on the exit. He invalidates that lap. Man, that lap was set to be easily top 3. Unfortunately for Bakker, it's not going to be the case. Always Rick is on a lap. There's a Red Bull on a lap as well. That's Monkey's going P4. There's a Renault, I believe that's Monkey Mafia starting his lap. It is. Maverick, where is he going to go? Improves to P10, so pushes down Craigo a little bit. There's Chris going P7 behind them. So another Racing Point in the top 10 right now. That's a good qualifying session for the Racing Points. Doomsday coming through the lines. Oh, barely missing out on the 109. Doomsday goes P3 for McLaren. And Craigo, that's the end of his qualifying session. Is Cozy going to be able to improve his lap? He's almost a 10th and a half up on his time. That should be enough to take him up into the top 4 if he can edge out just a little bit more time. Cozy goes P3 with a 109.8. A good lap there for the AlphaTauri. CJ Butch on the lap as well. He's coming through this final 2 sets of corners. And through turn 15, another one taking a very tight line there to the start-finish. And that's P5 for CJ Bush. So Williams getting up there in these dying seconds of qualifying. Is Monkeys going to be coming into the pits? I think he is going to be coming into the pits. And that should be the end of our qualifying session. It is. And so it's going to be, actually, always Rick got a pole position. I didn't even notice. It's always Rick with a 109.5. When did that happen? Must have been watching one of the other cars, and with the color, it didn't click in right away. Always Rick is going to be your provisional pole position. Or not provisional, but your pole man. P1 is going to be Sprunky P2, Bumblebee P3 on the medium tires. Cozy P4. A good lap there for Cozy. Chris P5, CJ Butch P6. Maverick needs to retire from the session here. He should have done that when he entered the pits. There you go. And that's going to be your pole position. Your qualifying is over. We're down to the brass tacks. We're down to the race. It's the Zandvoort Grand Prix coming up, round 12 of the ISRL Season 4 Championship. And we've got a packed grid today, and it's a very tight track, so expect the unexpected. We're probably going to get some safety cars. We're definitely going to get some DNFs. And if I do say so myself, I'm not sure that many of these names here that we're looking at right now are going to be around in that order near the end of this race. Expect a couple of guys from that top 5, that top 10 to succumb to attrition here at the Dutch Grand Prix, and maybe some surprises from the back. Of course, Bakker with a tough session, he's going to want to make up for that, as Craigo as well did not get the qualifying session he wanted. And loading into the lobby now. If we had any comments on our YouTube, let's go check it out. Hartman, loving the track limits at full pace. He's qualifying P11. Decent start for Hartman there. And as these drivers just get ready, I'm just going to take a quick sip of my drink and take a 10-second breather as we get ready for what's going to be a very exciting Grand Prix. All right. Daniel Ferguson saying GG Sprunk. Sprunk starting P2, so we're going to see if he can improve. There's only one place to go from P2, and it's P1, so maybe if Sprunky is lucky, he's going to be able to make the most of that one. He's got Always Rick ahead of him, and he's got some company like Bumblebee and Cozy right behind, so definitely some tough competition, some tough customers around Sprunky here. He's going to have to do the best he can. And not to get into his own head, we've seen him get really good starts before, and yes, there's something, and so he's just got to stay clear of everyone else. He's just got to race his race, and I think Sprunky could be in for a good result here. Your championship order, by the way, yeah, F1 Richie 263 points, Aizen's right behind him at 215. Those are your two title contenders at the moment. Craigo, the other Ferrari, 183. He's very close to Bacher and Bumblebee, who have 180 in fourth and fifth. Then there's a bit of a gap. Asunik 129, Sprunky 128, CJ Butch 118 in 6th, 7th, and 8th place. Chris and Chill Mo, who's no longer racing, and Monkeys all tied at 107 currently for 9th place. And Maverick 106. It was very tight there. A big battle for 9th place. And you got Cozy at 98, Monkey Mafia, X Hartman dragging behind him, 79, 70, and 61 points respectively. And then a couple of guys in the 40s. One Wing at 47, Always Rick at 44, Doomsray 41, but Doomsray joined quite recently, so expect that total to go up. And then Extreme Pascal at 14 behind, but Extreme Pascal not in the lobby today. So, here we go on this formation lap. And let's take a look at the tire strategy. So, looks like, yeah, Bumblebee, you expected. The rest of the top 10 on the softs, that's predicted. Monkey Mafia on the mediums. Asunik going on the softs. And then we've got a couple of hard runners. Those guys are going to be going very late into this race. Bacher, Craigo, Maverick on the hards. They are hoping that there is no early safety car because it would let everybody else jump on the hards. And they might actually make it to the end of this session. Chris and Cozy getting a little bit of a tangle there. Both of them going to get to sit on the grid for the rest of this formation lap. And then actually, yeah, the two at the end, One Wing and Richie. Richie going on the mediums. That does give him the option of dragging these out or pitting early for hards. So good thinking there from Richie and One Wing as well on the medium. So that's going to open the door up to some possible pit strategies. These guys come in to the line here around the final corner, and we're going to get started on this Dutch Grand Prix. And this is the best part. This is the action. This is the part that matters. We've got the race coming up, round 12. Are you ready? And if you haven't made your podium predictions, make them now. I'm going to go Sprunky, Aizen, and Cozy. That's my podium. No, Cozy P4. I'm going to put Bumblebee. That kind of pace on the mediums, you got to have him somewhere on your podium. That's my prediction. We're going to get started on the lights, though. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And in Zandvoort, they're off. And there's a bit of wheel spin from a few of the cars. Sprunky gets a good start, though. He's neck and neck with Always Rick into turn 1. And Sprunky's going to take the lead into this short run down to turn 1. It's going to be Sprunky P1. Oh, there's some contact in the back. That's Cozy and Chris. Cozy and Chris in the wall. And what's happened there? I think Chris exiting wide, maybe hitting Cozy, and there's a big pileup. Looks like we have our first safety car already, but Cozy and Doomsray both getting involved in that. Chris now getting a penalty for collision with Craigo. Chris getting tangled up early here in Zandvoort. There's some wing damage there on the racing point. He's going to have to pit off of that. That's going to throw away the soft tire strategy. And right away, we did not have much action here, and we've already got a safety car. But you saw Sprunky getting a much better start, much better run into turn one with the inside line, able to take the lead away from Always Wreck. Bumblebee held position here on the start. CJ Butch Azen up 2 positions as Chris and Cozy had an issue. Monkey Mafia with a great start, up 5 positions already for the Renault. He managed to just navigate that carnage okay. Hartman Bacher is already up into P8. Hartman up 3 spots as well. He's up into P7. Asunik up 3. Craigo up 4, but he's got that penalty he's going to have to serve from Chris. I believe Chris driving into him. Chris down 7. He's going to drop down some more as he pits for a new front wing. And that's going to be the same with Cozy and Doomsray, who are both pitting. Luckily for them, no safety car. They're going to be able to catch up, but it's it sucks. Very much sucks for these guys. I hope they put on the hard tires. No, there's mediums going on there. Cozy can probably make it to the end here. If he's very gentle on those tires, he can make it to the end. Doomsray potentially as well. Yes, he's on the hards as well. So Chris is going to have to pit again. These other... Oh, what's happening here? Okay. And these other 2 are going to maybe make it to the end. If they don't, it's going to be very nip and tuck. But that's the start here. Let's see. So yeah, F1 Rich up into P14. I'm surprised he did not take advantage of that safety car to pit. I know you can make 30. I've made the hards last 31 laps around this circuit. And it's I think that's the absolute most they're going to go. Then again, it does depend on your setup. So if these guys are wearing out their tires a lot, don't expect that to be the case. But that's a good start to my podium prediction, isn't it? Well, actually no, because I changed it. But I was going to say, if it was Cozy up down to P16, that kind of throws the prediction out of the way. I did have them P4 though. You've got a lot of catching up to do. Sprunky, though, leading another Grand Prix. He's had a few. Don't want to pull a mix, Sprunky. And you saw that tire lock up there as he's getting a little bit eager on the tire warming. And he just wants to get by that safety car and carry on with this race. He goes, oh, come on, they've caught up. Come on, get out of my way. And don't pass the safety car. That's how you get disqualified. Sprunky playing with fire here, trying to give everybody a little bit of a show under safety car, I think. It's got me sitting on the edge of my seat. Is he going to get disqualified? Is he not? You'll never know what's coming. All right. Safety car should hopefully be in this lap. Looks like the field has bunched up. And by bunching up, I definitely not an understatement. These guys, give yourself a little bit of room, gentlemen. And it is in this lap. So safety car coming in this lap, going to get started again for some racing. And we did get robbed of what would have been probably a very intense opening lap. But nevertheless, Sprunky now going to back up the pack. And he's taking a decent amount of speed there. He doesn't want to let them catch up too much. He's just going to follow the safety car, I think. And a lot of these guys, like at the back, they have not caught up yet because they're afraid the pack's going to bunch up. And look how far some of these guys at the back are. from this starting queue. Yeah, there's absolutely no bunching up here under safety car, and Sprunky's just going to go for it. That's an interesting strategy. It looks like it's worked, though, because it's made sure that the pack isn't too close to him. And off to the races goes the Haas. Everybody else looks, because of that restart though, everybody else getting an okay getaway. There's not any big leads. Everybody's just kind of left at the same time because Frankie was using kind of a much faster pace, to be honest. And it will avoid any chaos here in the opening stages of this safety car restart. But further down the back, looks like the front is behaving nicely. Further down the back, though, I'm seeing some action. Is that Chris going for a move? He definitely thought about it. Further up front, Monkeys, I think, might be eyeing up the Alpha Tauri and tempting him. It definitely tempted him as he tried to look around the outside. Oh, no, Chris has had contact with another driver. And that's going to be one wing going all the way to the back, and Chris has got wing damage again. And we had a great view of that one on the stream, I'll tell you that. Chris not going to be pitting to fix that wing damage. But not the start he wanted. First, we saw that tap with Cozy right here on the circuit. As now 5 seconds under safety car for collision with Craigo. And now he's got some more wing damage. And is that going to hold up F1 Richie now, who's stuck behind him? This is a very hard track to overtake. You can already see the gap that Chris has started to lose compared to Monkeys ahead. Oh, Craigo's had a moment. What's happened to Craigo? Is there damage on... Oh, Craigo is... had to take a lot of curb there. And I think he had a moment and he had to let everybody go by just to be safe. And Craigo now down into P17, not the star of the race these Ferraris were wanting. There's a big gap now between the top three and CJ Butch. Azen stuck behind CJ Butch. He's going to want to get ahead of him if he wants to catch up in this championship fight. Qualifying so important around this track. It's such a hard track to overtake on. DRS is enabled this lap, and we should see a little bit of help now in the overtakes. Chris sending it down the inside of Asunik. That damaged front wing not going to affect him. Must not be that much damage to it. Oh, Asunik with a bit of a moment there as he struggled to enter the hairpin. Bit of a wiggle there on the exit. Looks like he's kept it under control, at least enough so that Richie doesn't get a chance down or up the hill rather. Chris right ahead of him though. 1.7 seconds behind Monkeys, and Monkeys himself is 2.2 seconds behind Bakker, so bit of a gap forming between this lead three, this middle pack that we're seeing, then there's Monkeys, and then this pack behind from P10 down all the way to Craigo, who are all seemingly stuck behind Chris at the moment. And Chris with the wing. Oh, Asunik is spun. I think that was just getting the wheels on the curb there. We saw him hugging the inside of that corner very, very tightly. And it looks like that's not going to pay off for the Alpha Tauri. Might have to pit again. Azen is catching up to CJ Butch, and with CJ Butch 2 seconds behind Bumblebee now, losing a lot of time, Azen's going to want to make the most of these DRS zones. We're going to enable the telemetry just to see just how much he's pushing, and look at how much CJ Butch is pushing. 30% ERS already, and Azen is going to have to use a little bit more battery if he wants to get by, and he should try at the very least to get by down this straight, the next one I mean. This one's way too short to make a move. And get to the pursuit of Bumblebee. Sprunky and Rick are going to be able to pit early, but oh, is there... Maverick has had a moment as well. Sorry, I saw a yellow flag, and I was wondering what red car that was. Looks like Maverick has had a moment in Sector 2. and he's fallen a bit further back. CJ Bush doing a good job holding Aizen back, actually gaining a little bit of time on Aizen, but he's using a lot more ERS. As you can see, Aizen with nearly 60% of his battery. But Aizen, is he going just a little bit too conservative, just a little too easy on CJ Butch? Maybe, because he's not feeling a whole lot of pressure right now as a Williams. Chris is going to pit. And I believe that's Krago's had another spin coming out of turn 1. And yeah, absolutely not the day Krago wanted to be having right now. Oh, there's a penalty for Sprunky. That's going to spice up this battle for the lead. As it stands now, we'd finish P3, but there's still a lot of laps of racing to go. We're on lap 8 of 36 here around Zandvoort, watching Aizen trying to slowly but surely claw back at that gap CJ Butch has started to put it on him. He wants to stay within DRS range, and Aizen, use your battery, man. Use your battery. If you got the stream up, use that battery. Don't use the grass on the inside. Always Rick with the fastest lap, and Always Rick is going to take the lead as Sprunky is going to pit, trying to go for the undercut as he pits early. And now let's see if Always Rick can put in the gap he needs. Bumblebee's going to inherit the lead here no matter when Always Rick pits, because he's on the mediums. He doesn't have to pit early. Now Always Rick needs to push very, very hard if he wants to come out ahead of Sprunky. Where does Sprunky come out? Sprunky's come out in traffic, so I think maybe mistiming that gap a little bit. He's going to be stuck behind Dooms right now. And I think Sprunky should have, either he should have pitted a little bit earlier so that the gap wasn't as big. He would have come out behind One Wing, or a little bit later when the gap ahead of Monkeys would have been big enough. But right now, Sprunky getting himself up into traffic, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time on his outlap here. He's got the medium tires on, though. Sprunky going for the two-stop strategy. He's going to make a move here down the inside of Doomsray. Doomsray gives him a lot of room. He knows that's not his fight. He knows Sprunky has pit already. Smart. Oh, that was smart from Doomsray, but then he got some curb, smacking into the wall behind, and he's got some wing damage. Unfortunately for Doomsray, he's got wing damage, and now that's going to hinder the McLaren quite a bit. Always Rick not pitting yet, and so now this is going to tilt the scale back into Sprunky's favor, because those soft tires degrade so easily that now he's cleared at least one of the cars that he was stuck behind. He's got Cozy and Richie ahead of him, but Cozy and Richie got decent pace. Richie is only back there because of the qualifying crash, and Cozy, of course, we saw that tangle with Chris early on in the race, actually on turn 1, lap 1. And so Sprunky now, this traffic ahead, is going to have much better pace, and he should be able to keep up without losing too much time, but he doesn't want to lose a car. Oh, a big slide there through turn 9, I believe, for Sprunky. Chasing down Cozy. We're going to keep an eye out now for Always Rick. Is he going to be pitting soon? He is. And so let's switch back to Sprunky. And is Sprunky, where's Sprunky going to come out? He's coming through turn 14 now. He's right behind Cozy. He's going to have DRS again. As he gets past the pit entrance, it's just now that Always Rick is starting to move in his pit box. He's going to pass him on the entry. You can see Always Rick there in the pit on the way out. They're going to come out neck and neck, but Sprunky, looks like the undercut worked ever so slightly, but it worked. And now Sprunky needs to get some distance. He needs to get some cars between him and Always Rick. He needs to get past Cozy, and then he needs to get past F1 Richie, sorry. And when is he going to do that? Oh, is he not up the hill? That's a very dangerous, a ballsy place to overtake if you try it. And Sprunky knowing better than to attempt a dangerous move like that. And there's a yellow flag in sector 2. No, there's been a big crash. And is that Harmon? It is Harmon. I think there's a McLaren possibly involved in that one. Or it might have just been a coincidence. I saw the McLaren go by at the same time. We've got a VSC now. So a VSC because of that Red Bull spinning out. And that should neutralize this Grand Prix a little bit. Is anybody going to try to pit maybe Oh, what's this? Always Rick with a 5-second penalty. And you know what? I think Always Rick possibly got an illegal overtake on Hartman. So expect that penalty to be slightly disregarded. I don't see who else Always Rick would have overtaken. So that might be an appealable penalty here, provided there's no really late safety cars. And, oh no! Under VSC. Oh no! Double oh no! Cozy loses it under VSC right before it finishes, and then F1 Richie gets a drive-through. Under V, right at the end, F1 Richie getting a drive-through penalty. Oh, that's disastrous for both the races. Absolutely disastrous for these two. And as always, is F1 Richie going to serve it now? Sprunky getting ahead of him. Not too much fighting going on from F1 Richie. I think he's probably going to serve it this lap. Does not want to get in the way of these two. Not more than he should. And now Sprunky is going to start on ahead. He's got a 6.9 second gap to Monkey Mafia, who again trying to make the most of that alternate strategy going deep into this race. And he's got about 14 seconds to Bumblebee. So Bumblebee now, as it stands, is if he pits, he's gonna come out. He's gonna come out, I think, right ahead of One Wing. So he's gonna come out third again, if my head math is correct. Hartman having some more issues in Sector 3. And so I guess Bumblebee at this point, he needs another VSC or another safety car if he wants to get the pit stop in and still come out in front. But Bumblebee's advantage, of course, is going to be that he's going to be on much fresher tires at the end of this Grand Prix. And I'll be entirely honest with you, I expected Bumblebee to pit for the hards there under safety car or VSC. He went by the pits. We saw everybody else pit. But he didn't. He decided to stay out and keep that lead. At least I think he did stay out. If he hasn't, it was a very quick pit stop. Yeah, no, he has stayed out. So, Bumblebee, interesting strategy here. He's going to keep going as far as he can into this race, possibly just waiting on the other safety car. Those mediums, though, that he's qualified on, they should start dropping off any second now. There won't be too many more laps left on them. I think 20 is about the most that you can get out of those tires. And if you go beyond 20, either you're going to get a flat tire or you're going to have some issues. Aizen with a move on One Wing into turn 1, and One Wing, who is on the alternate strategy, isn't going to do much to defend or overtake that position. Aizen now moving himself up into P5. And with F1 Richie getting that drive-through served, he's down to P8. So surprisingly, F1 Richie not actually losing out too much because of that drive-through. I mean, he would have been, don't get me wrong, he would have been pretty far up there without it, but I thought it was going to be worse here for F1 Richie. He's actually still in the top 10. And of course, coming off of his win in Monza last week in front of the Tifosi, home win for the half-Italian driver. And maybe not the weekend you'd want to have to follow it up, but you got that first win. By the way, that was he's leading the championship, hasn't had a win yet. So I'm sure not only did he pick the best place to do it, but he picked a great moment in the season to do it as he solidifies his championship lead. But with Aizen P5 right now and Richie P8, that is, if nothing changes, that is going to dip quite a bit. CJ Butch is getting quite close to One Wing, but again, I think One Wing is not stopped yet. Yeah, so those tires are 15 laps old, and I don't think it's going to be much of a fight here CJ Bush now hunting him down. CJ Bush, really, he's just trying to catch up to Aizen because, well, not only top 5, of course, but if he can catch up to Aizen, he can get DRS from Aizen. There's nobody really ahead of Aizen, so Aizen's not going to get DRS either. At the very least, they can kind of DRS train each other up the grid. At the worst, then he gets stuck behind him, but still P6 for CJ Butch, and we go on. We've got we're approaching the halfway point of this race. Lap 18 is it? No, lap 7. So we're getting there. We're getting close to the halfway point of this race, and still, as you can see by the pit stop graph here that I've got on the screen, 5 cars have not pit. Bumblebee, Monkey Mafia, One Wing, Richie, and Krago have not pit. Now, position change. Some of these guys gain a lot of position from not pitting. Bumblebee started at the front, and he's got a 14 still. So, a gap to Sprunky. Now, I've noticed that gap to Sprunky has not really come down for Bumblebee. It's been around 14 to 15 seconds ever since Sprunky came out of the pits. And so what this means for me, right, is that Bumblebee on those old mediums actually has the same amount of pace as Sprunky on the fresh mediums. And so whenever Bumblebee pits, and I'm assuming he's going to pit shortly, potentially around lap 20, maybe he's going to try to stretch out the softs, who knows. But he's going to have an outright pace advantage. He just has to make sure that those tires last. Into turn 1, though, it's going to be Monkeys and Chris side by side. And Chris is squeezing out just a little bit there on the exit, but still giving him enough room to fit his car there. But definitely not as much room as Monkeys would like to have. And through the hairpin is going to be Chris taking P10 away from the Red Bull. Chris, who's had a very rough start to this race. He's been keeping it clean the last couple of laps, though we haven't seen him get involved into too many things. But he's also been a little bit a ways away from other cars. So if there's a safety car here, could see that change. And still, look at that. As Bumblebee increases his gap to Monkey Mafia, Sprunky is actually closing that gap by roughly the same amount. And it's going to stay. This one's actually gaining a little bit. It's up to about 14, 15 seconds. And is Bumblebee pushing right now? Or is he just... Yeah, they're pushing about the same in terms of VRS. Monkey Mafia is absolutely cruising. 75% in the bank. But Bumblebee definitely starting to push now. So I think we might see a pit stop soon. He's trying to increase that gap to maximize his chances of coming out right behind Sprunky, or maybe even ahead if Sprunky gets stuck behind Monkey Mafia. So Bumblebee, I think, is going to try to now, at the very least, make another lap or two. I think if you can get to lap 20, you can maybe just edge out those softs to the end. But let's ride on board with them. You can see just how much wear are on those medium tires right now. And not going to pit yet. Oh, there's a yellow flag in Sector 1. That's Hartman again. Hartman, he had such a good qualifying session, such a good start to the race, and now he's had a couple of moments here. We've seen him in the back. He hasn't, I think he's just not happy with the setup, with the balance of that car, because we've seen the rear end step out of him a few times, and they're not moments with anybody else. He hasn't taken out anyone else, of course, but definitely hindering his own race significantly. Now, if he has another one, he might actually end up getting lapped, and you can't get that back. So he'd be better get the pace in and start pulling away from Bumblebee before the next safety car, if there is one. You can just see how much wear there is on those medium tires. Sprunky, though, is finally caught up to Monkey Mafia, and as he catches up to Monkey Mafia, Bumblebee's gap to Monkey Mafia, 14 seconds, and still it stays the same. So Bumblebee, those tires are 19 laps old, race laps old. He qualified on them. He's qualified on those tires, and he's still got more pace than Sprunky has on the fresh ones that he put on around lap 10. So yeah, absolutely crazy pace from Bumblebee today. I'm super impressed with that drive, I have to tell you. Is Sprunky going to get by Monkey Mafia here? He's got 3/10. This straightaway so short, though. Not going to be able to do it. You basically just have to come out on the rear diffuser of the car ahead, or hope that they get a moment. Or maybe send it down the inside of the hairpin. Thought about it. And he's going to actually get him on the exit here. Are they going to go up the hill side by side? Sprunky taking some risks here. Taking some risks. And they're going to have to back out of that one. And ends up still stuck behind Monkey Mafia. He's 2/10, 3/10. He's going to lose a little bit of time through turn 10s and 11. This is not going to have any opportunity on this DRS straight. And now this is the part that Bumblebee wanted. Sprunky losing time battling with Monkey Mafia. And again, he's going to stay out. Bumblebee gambling. He's staying out as long as he can. And can he make 22, 23 laps on those mediums plus the quali laps? That would be insane. He's going to be able to go one stop soft hard. Sprunky is pushing way too much here. He's got no ERS, not even halfway down the straightaway. He's got to back off, recharge, and then just go at him once. He's got the pace to keep up with Monkey Mafia without pushing. So he's just got to calm down, take a breath. You know you're going to pass him. But Sprunky might actually have to pit again, though. And that is the concern here. Is that if he's pushing those tires too much, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of wear right now, but if he pushes those tires too much, he's going to have to pit again. And then this whole overcut on Bumblebee isn't going to matter, because Bumblebee at this rate, he's only going to have to pit once. Unless he goes like soft. You can see him eyeing that move there. Taking the inside line, thinking about it. All right, if he messes up his braking zone, if he goes deep, then I'm ready to take the position. But unfortunately for Sprunky, Monkey Mafia not messing up that braking zone. And now Sprunky, now he's a little bit closer. And he's going to send it down the inside turn 1. Careful not to go deep, though. You don't want to slide through the turn and take out your opponent with you. And Sprunky with an ambitious move to take second place. And now he can start hunting down Bumblebee. But 15.5 seconds, that's the gap. Bumblebee is at turn 10 right now. And Sprunky's just come out of the turn 4 hairpin. So a lot of distance to cover. You can see just how much that gap now is immediately starting to close as Sprunky gets released into clean air. And you saw also just how much time he was losing behind Monkey Mafia. He's already put a second between himself and the Renault. And I think Monkey Mafia at this point is going to have to pit. Those tires for sure are at the end of their life. And you can see the damage on the surface of that tire, and you know what, it kind of looks like the damage on the surface of this tire, but Bumblebee doesn't seem to have any issues with pace right now, and I want to know what setup he's using, because I might just have to steal it. Absolutely great pace for the Racing Point here in Zandvoort. We've got 13 laps to go. We're at a third of the way through this Grand Prix. And Bumblebee leads from Sprunky, from Monkey Mafia, who is yet to pit. And Always Rick has recovered nicely, 1.6 seconds behind Monkey Mafia. And still, though, Bumblebee is the leader of this race, and he's going for the one stop. What he doesn't want to do now is push those tires too far, because if you get a puncture somewhere, you got to, especially in that downhill right-hander. And who was that? Was that Craigo who's had another moment there? No, it wasn't. That must have been Maverick. You get a puncture through that tire, you're done. It's a fast turning corner, you get a puncture and your car's going right into the wall. And actually, oh my lord, okay, this is big. So there's a safety car because of Maverick crashing, and now Bumblebee is going to be able to pit. Sprunky should be able to pit for the softs, and Monkey Mafia is just lucked into an amazing strategy. As he gets to pit, he's going to lose maybe one position to Always Rick. So Monkey Mafia doing an excellent job staying out there, and I think that safety car couldn't have come at a better time, because he was getting to the end of those tires. Look at how much wear is on there. Absolutely crazy. Mia's going to pit, and everybody's going to pit. Maverick is retired from the session there, unhappy with how this one is going down. Is Aizen going to pit? He is. So Aizen getting off the hard tires. Monkey's getting a drive-through, unfortunately. Yeah, everybody going on the slick tires now. And Chris, Monkeys, yeah, they're pitting for the softs. Everybody, I think, going to go for the softs until the end. Everybody had to use the harder tire compound. And so we've basically just got a sprint race at this point, don't we? Did I read that right? Does Susunik have 2 drive-thrus? He's got another one. Okay. Not sure what's going on there for the... either there's a glitch in this... either there's a glitch in my timing screen or he's got 3 drive-thrus. Anyways, alright, sorry, I was getting a little bit confused by that. Have we got any new comments in, well, since last time I checked, got Mark. If you're still in here, guys, drop us a comment. Who do you think is going to win this race? We've got Bumblebee and Sprunky now. Very clear contenders for the win of this Grand Prix. There's I think that's Hartman's Red Bull who's stuck in between the two of them, though. So hopefully he does not get in the way. Monkey Mafia P3, who's inherited that after a brilliant strategy call to stay out on those mediums. Sudik retiring in the pits. This will be his second non-finish in a row. And as the safety cars are going to come in, I'm expecting around lap 27, we're going to get a 9-lap sprint, more or less, to the end of this Grand Prix. All right. And here we go. Sorry, I was drinking some water and catching my breath, but we're back under green flag racing. And it's going to be Hartman moving out of the way quite quickly of Sprunky. It's going to be a 1-2 here from Bumblebee and Sprunky, chasing each other down for the win of this Grand Prix. And it all comes down to here. We've got 10 laps of action to go here in Zandvoort. We've got some yellow flags further down the pack, but I didn't see anything that looked too bad. Bumblebee and Sprunky now heading off into the distance. They've already got 1.2 seconds to Monkey Mafia. Always Rick is now stuck behind Monkey Mafia. And so is Aizen. So these two, Monkey Mafia, he's using strategy to get ahead of these guys, but I think Always Rick and Aizen probably have a little bit more outright pace than him around this circuit. So he's definitely going to be a bit of a roadblock as these two wait to challenge our two leaders. And you can see just how close Sprunky is getting to Bumblebee. 4/10 already. And on the restart, it's going to stay that way to the end of the first lap. But look at the gap they've put in between themselves and Monkey Mafia. And Monkey Mafia going defensive down the inside. He's going to loop back to the racing line. You're allowed to do that. That's not moving twice, so long as he doesn't move again to defend. The whole queue behind them is, I think, using the same strategy. I think One Wing and Monkeys were having a bit of a scrap. I saw that Williams dot quite close. Always Rick now hunting down Monkey Mafia. You see how close he got. He's able to follow much closer than you think here. Oh, there's a yellow flag, and that is Chris. Chris has had another bad restart, and now he's crashed out, it looks like. I think he's gotten the car going, but effectively the end of this of his race. Oh, he thought about it. Always Rick. He definitely thought about it. Running out of real estate, though. Having to slam on the brakes really hard not to hit the back of that Renault. And Monkey Mafia stays ahead here in P3 with only 8 laps to go. Bumblebee setting the fastest time as he starts to get a bit of a gap between himself and Sprunky. Oh, and what's happened here? It looks like Chris has potentially intentionally retired, as he's hit a place you don't normally hit unless you just forget to stop braking. He's brought out the virtual safety car. And so that's going to help just about everybody. Well, except for Chris, of course. But yeah, VSC should be ending shortly. Chris going off there right at the corner. You would have went straight on here, so potentially an intentional retirement there. Not what you want to see considering the pit lane was 2 corners further, but it is what it is. We've got the VSC for half a lap. Now we carry on. Bumblebee, though, managing 1.x. He's above 1 second. That's all that matters. DRS not enabled for Sprunky. Now, as they're both pushing quite hard here, so I think it's going to be a matter of who can mismanage their ERS the least, because it's quite close, I think, between the pace of these two, at least as what we can see right now. Cozy's out of the session. Oh, no. And Cozy's out of the session. Is it going to bring out even more yellow flags, VSC, anything? No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like Cozy going off there right before the hairpin and into the wall, and that's going to be both Alpha Tauris out of this session for the 2nd week in a row. Six laps to go now. The two leaders, you can see just how much of a gap they've put on between themselves and Always Rick, who's finally gotten past Monkey Mafia. Struggling, though, to not only put distance between himself and Monkey Mafia, but to catch up to these two, and this is where the big action is. And 15% ERS for Bumblebee, 15 for Sprunky. They're matching themselves in terms of pace and energy management. It's been a spin there from Monkeys and Hartman as well, going off the very next corner. Not a good lap for the Red Bulls. Tell you who this is a good lap for. Sprunky got himself back up into DRS range, and not close enough to make a move, but at the very least I think he might be able to get a little bit of slipstream and catch up down this straightaway. They both got to start saving now. Four tenths the gap. Is Sprunky getting closer ever so slightly, lap after lap. And it doesn't look like the pace of either of these two is wavering right now, but it's definitely such a hard track to overtake on. Sprunky needs Bumblebee to make a mistake if he wants to have any shot at reclaiming that lead. And Sprunky led a lot of laps here early on, but with that late safety car, with Bumblebee staying out very long, having excellent pace on the mediums, it's turned into Bumblebee's race to lose. Come through turn 14 into turn 15 here. It's still, the gap is right back to where it was last lap. Actually, ever so slightly closer. We're down to 6 tenths, 5 tenths at the line. And can Sprunky do something about it now? 4 laps to go. Sprunky using a bit more ERS now as he's pushing so hard to catch up to that racing point. Up the hill we go as we get down the hairpin. There isn't an overtaking opportunity for a while here, not unless your opponent makes a mistake. Bumblebee most certainly did not. 2 tenths. Look at how close Sprunky's trying to follow in the dirty air in the wake of the racing point. And this could either end up in glory for Sprunky as he catches up and makes the pass, or in disaster. Maybe the dirty air catches him out and he loses the car. But as we get to this main straightaway, he's lost that gap. He's lost that advantage, pushing potentially just on the wrong parts of the circuit and not able to catch up to Bumblebee. 5 tenths, though, is closer than it was last lap. I think he's made up some grounds here in that chicane. And through turn 15, who is it going to be? 5 tenths is getting closer every lap. One thing that Sprunky does not have going from those, a 3-second penalty. So unless Bumblebee gets one here in the closing laps, Sprunky might just end up, even if he passes him on track, finishing second. He's got the gap to P4. That's not an issue. Rick has got a penalty. He's not going to fall down to P3 either. But can Sprunky now, if he passes Bumblebee, if he passes Bumblebee, he's not going to be able to set that 3-second gap. I think he's basically got to juke Bumblebee into making a mistake and earning himself a penalty if he wants a chance at winning this race here. And he got that penalty very early on in this Grand Prix. I think this was in like the opening 5 or 6 laps. So it's not like he hasn't kept clean since. Sprunky's had run a good race, and unfortunately for him, that penalty might be the decision maker here. Oh no, he gets another one, and it's game over. 4.7 seconds always, Rick. It should still be safe in P2. But at this point, I think Bumblebee's breathing a sigh of relief now, because 6-second gap is what Sprunky has to set. He's got 2 laps to do, and he still has yet to overtake him. So that might just be it here for Sprunky's hopes. I mean, Bumblebee could still lose the car. You never know. Yeah, the way he's been driving today, not looking super likely, I'll tell you that. What a race Bumblebee has had, qualifying on the mediums P3, and then taking those mediums all the way to like lap 23 or 24 when the safety car came out. It didn't look like he was about to pit either. And he pits, gets out ahead, puts the softs on, and a brilliant one-stop strategy for Bumblebee here, and it looks like it's going to pay off for him. And if he gets the win here, he's going to definitely jump quite a few people in the championship order. And amongst those people that he's going to jump, yeah, no, he's already jumped Sprunky, but he's definitely going to jump Bumblebee. He's going to jump Bacher for sure. He's going to jump Krago for sure. And might just get himself up close to Aizen. Here, though, Lap 35 out of 36. You can see just how aggressive Sprunky is getting. And Bumblebee, I think, is lifted off ever so slightly. He's not pushing as hard. Doesn't need to anymore. Sprunky's so close. Don't do anything stupid now. You don't want to take both of you out. You don't want to take the leader and yourself out, because then you get always Rick the win. And you get Ace in the win. And Ace is the guy you're trying to catch up to right now. You're both of you are trying to catch up to him. So F1 Richie, good recovery though. P6, we haven't heard much of him this race, but doing a great job recovering from that early qualifying mishap to a beautiful P6. So good points. Aizen with P5 isn't going to close up the gap by all that much, but it does keep him in the game here as we're getting towards the closing stages of our championship. Last lap, here we go, lap 36. We've got a yellow flag somewhere in the back. Doesn't look like anything too bad. Sprunky is gonna be P2 as we start the lap. 6 seconds in penalties. Bumblebee's P1 with no seconds in penalties. I think we all know how this one is gonna end up. He's just got to navigate one more lap of this Grand Prix circuit, and as he's coming up the hill, down the hill, this is a tricky part. You get this one, you should be okay. And he does get that one okay. And Bumblebee now, he's got a sector and a half to go. Don't want to run out of fuel. You can see Sprunky's backed off a little bit. I think he knows that the opportunity for the move has passed, but don't let that discount the fight you put on. Sprunky with a brilliant attack on Bumblebee, but Bumblebee just responded with an even better defense. And both of these guys just showing how close and competitive a Division 3 Grand Prix can be, with a great effort to battle for the win and pit strategy and everything else. We didn't see much fighting with the moves, but that's just the nature of the circuit. Don't let that take anything away from this win. Bumblebee wins in Zandvoort, and that's his 3rd win of the season. And what a race! And what a haul of points for the Racing Point. Monkey Mafia gets a podium after penalties. As always, Rick had a pen. Monkey Mafia gets his first podium of the season. Aizen gets P5, Richie P6, Doomsray goes up to P7, CJ Butch P8, Craigo P9. One Wing's going to come home with a top 10. Monkeys is going to come home P11, and then Bacher with a tough race. That's not the race he wanted for sure, as he's going to get jumped by Bumblebee and potentially Sprunky in the standings here, depending on how many points Sprunky is behind. And he's going to come home P12. And that's going to be the end of this Dutch Grand Prix. What a race for everybody involved. What a battle for the lead from our two podium sitters, Sprunky and Bumblebee. And what an overall performance from Bumblebee. Driver of the week talks for sure for him, I think, after that kind of race. P3 on the mediums, and holding on, making the most of that safety car to go on to the softs at the end. Great strategy, great drive for the Racing Point. You can see him celebrating there on the podium. Nice little dance, and he's proud of you as well. Yes, but that's the final order. Bumblebee, Sprunky, Monkey Mafia, your top 3. Always Rick and A's in top 5. F1 Richie, Doomsray, CJ Butch, Craigo, One Wing, your top 10. Monkeys, Bacher, Hartman, and Cozy. And Chris, your top 15, but the last of those two did not finish this session. Minasunik and Maverick, 17th, 16th, and 17th. Neither of them finishing as well. We've only had 13 finishes here in Zandvoort, 12 on the lead lap. That's going to be the end of our Grand Prix. Let's see. Sorry about the screen cutting. We're going to try to get some of our winners up in this session. Let's get Bumblebee up in here. Let's get Monkey Mafia. Of course, we've got to get Sprunk. All right. Well, you got one in, so we'll get started now and keep these interviews nice and short because it's toasty in this room. And Sprunky, you hear me?
I can. Hi.
Yeah, good race for you. Great qualifying, great race pace, great effort overall. Unfortunately, just could not get past Bumblebee. Can you take us through that Grand Prix?
Yeah, well, it was a hard one. I tried so hard to get past Bumblebee, but I pushed even harder. Then I got another 3 seconds, and that kind of disappointed me. But I kept it. I mean, I kept my pace and I finished second, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to be too disappointed at about that race. You had, like I said, great qualifying session. You kept it up through the race. Bumblebee ended up getting ahead of you on the safety car restart because of the safety car. If you had pit under green, you were going to come out P1. So the everything that you had to do, you did. It just came down to an unfortunately timed safety car, I think. Great race for you. Is there anything you would have done differently, maybe in hindsight?
Not really. I mean, it went how it went, and it was a good race, to be honest. I had some good battle with Monkey, and I tried to keep it so close with Bumblebee, but he kept it better, and yeah, it was a good race.
You can definitely be happy with that one. It's a great effort, great haul of points as well. We're going to move on to Bumblebee now, our winner. And, I mean, first of all, congrats on the qualifying. P3 on the medium tires. You had excellent pace out there. And then you made those last so far into this race. What happened? Like, can you take us through the how you felt there in the car? It looked like you were just connected to the track today.
Yeah, the car felt pretty good, actually. And when I saw my qualification on P3, I questioned if softs were better than the mediums, but turned out okay.
And you took full advantage of that late safety car. Were you going to pit soon when that came out, or?
Yeah, I wanted to pit exactly that moment, so that safety car was a gift from heaven.
Yeah, perfectly timed. Because I was talking on the stream about how you were probably going to pit that lap, and how those tires had to be dead by now. And the safety car comes out. You come out ahead of Sprunky. You stay ahead of him. How tough was it to keep that Haas behind you?
Still shaking. He put a lot of pressure on me, which is a good thing. But I was glad that last lap he put the pressure off of me.
It was great race for you. That brings you way up in the championship order. You should be, I think, if my math is correct, like P3 or something now, maybe even P2. So getting yourself these last couple of races right up to the top of the championship talk. Third win this season. Do you have any plans, any mindset going forward to the end of this one?
Keep going.
Get more wins?
I hope so, yes.
Yeah.
And was talking with Bakker, and now Sprunky is also coming to put pressure on Richie, maybe.
Well, let's hope some of you guys can. I'd love to see a big title fight at the end of the season here. But move on. Yeah, great race, and let's move on to Monkey Mafia getting a podium. How much of a surprise is that?
Not actually too much. I was planning a one-stop from the beginning. I thought that'd give me the best advantage. And then the mayhem after turn one, I snuck through, gained 4 or 5 spots there, and I was feeling like I was set up pretty well. I was about a lap away from pitting on those mediums, and the safety car came out, so it was perfectly timed.
And you ended up keeping Always Rick behind you for quite a few laps. Got him back again at the end there on penalties. How did the car feel out there? You looked like you had some great pace, especially on that last stint. And it definitely paid off for you. How did the car feel?
Yeah, it was pretty good. He had a little less downforce, it felt like, because he was killing me in a couple of those straights, but it was just making sure I got through the corners, got good exit. I think my exit is where that actually saved me in the end. With all his Rick, I was just trying to keep him behind me as long as I could because I knew he had the penalty. So
it worked out for you. Good points. Good podium. Is that your first podium of the season? I believe.
Yep, that's my first ISRL podium.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy Zandvoort a little bit more now that you've got a podium there. Is there anything you're gonna try to do again? Maybe I've seen you do that alternate pit really late strategy a couple races in a row now. You're gonna keep trying that for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I've really been working on getting my setups to be good for tires so I don't burn them off, so I can do one stops where a lot of people are doing two stops, or they're going medium hard and I go medium soft. Just trying to stay ahead of everybody. I don't have the most pace here, so I got to find a way to get up there.
Well, you definitely found a way to get up there today, so congrats on the first podium. Congrats on all the podium and the winners. Yeah, I think that's the end of our stream. We're going to be back soon enough. It is currently 35 minutes away from Division 2, so we'll see you guys then. And if you haven't checked out the links in the description, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't liked the stream, don't forget to do that now. We're going to be back in about 35 minutes with some Division 2. And thank you to everybody who tuned in.